Have you ever wondered what it will feel like wearing a vintage skin diver watch with modern specs? I wondered the same thing myself for a long time until the first Flux watch came into my radar, and that was a few months ago. If you haven't checked out my review of the FLX001, the link is in the description. It was a great watch, but now a few months later the company came out with a new dial and hand design. Although the watch is in essence the same watch as the other, it does feel a little different. It looks beautiful and it feels a lot more refined. This new model is called the FLX003. And out of the three models the company offers, this is actually my favorite so far. However, the watch does have some shortcomings and we will most definitely get into those, so stick around. Here's a little inside baseball into the inspiration of this model. The company took inspiration from the Omega Seamaster CK2913 with some elements of the Seamaster like the big triangle. The Omega Seamaster 300 Big Triangle has its origins in the 1960s when it was first commissioned by the British Ministry of Defense, or MOD, for military use. Now, the MOD required a reliable, highly legible dive watch for its personnel. The Flux FLX003 preserved the essence of this iconic watch while incorporating subtle changes that enhanced the original design, like the big triangle and the broad arrow hands to, of course, stick to that aesthetic of that MOD design. This watch is more than just a watch, it's a nod to a piece of horological history designed for those who appreciate the legacy of the Seamaster 300 and its role in military and diving history. Let's cover the specs of this watch. The case is constructed of 316L stainless steel and weighs in at 84 grams. The case measures in at 38 millimeters, it's 47 millimeters from lug to lug, and the thickness comes in at 14 millimeters, and in between the lugs, 20 millimeters. This is very much a dive-capable watch with 200 meters of water resistance. And helping keep those seals really nice and tight is a 5.9 millimeter signed screw-down crown that's relatively easy to engage with. The shape of the case very much resembles that of the Omega, and is very well constructed. There's polishing, brushing, and the attention to detail can be seen on those polished chamfers. The side profile of the case is clean, but here's some constructive criticism for the brand. The watch case should be slimmed down just a little bit. 14 millimeters does feel a little chunky. I really like the look of the aluminum countdown bidirectional friction bezel. It's very slim, again paying homage to the Seamaster. However, I'm personally not a huge fan of friction bezels. I like to fidget with things, but that's simply a personal choice of mine. The watch does feature a Hesalite crystal. Not many companies really use that type of crystal. I was always on the fence with these crystals, but after owning a Hesalite Speedy, I realized that it wasn't that bad. A little poly watch does wonders. Also, it's hard to beat the warmness and distortions you get with Hesalite. The black matte dial, in my opinion, is the star of the show, of course, and with good reason. The company preserved the essence of the Seamaster, as previously stated, while incorporating subtle changes that enhance the original design. The symmetry and balance is well put together. I can tell a lot of thought went into this. I love the look of that big triangle at the 12 o'clock and have always been a fan of the Fotina. It reminds me of my Black Bay 58. The 369 on the dial always worked for me, and the font use is clean and legible. The broad arrow hand along with the minute and seconds hand have that sharp look to it, and that design really adds a level of elegance. As far as the Lume is concerned, the company is using Superluminova C3 Old Radium that's been applied on the hands, indices, and Lume pip. The Lume glows bright, and that big triangle really makes a difference, and you will always be able to tell the time in low light conditions. The screw-down case back does feature some information about the watch along with the logo and helps with the water resistance. On to the one thing that I'm not a big fan of, the strap. Look, the sailcloth look of the strap is awesome. In fact, I respect that this strap is manufactured from recycled ocean plastic, but unfortunately, it feels rigid and stiff just like plastic. I'll be transparent, I'm not sure if the strap over time will get softer, but my assumption is that it will. The strap does, however, feature a quick release system and a nice signed stainless steel buckle, so changing the strap should be relatively easy. On my 6 7/8 inch wrist, the watch definitely has a vintage feel and look to it, and the proportions make it wear beautiful. I personally would recommend, of course, changing the strap of this one to something a little more comfortable. Powering this piece is a reliable and easily serviceable SI NH38A movement. that has approximately 41 hours of power reserve. The caliber beats at 21,600 beats per hour and features 24 joules. I like that you can hack and wind this movement and agree with the company's decision to go with a caliber that doesn't feature a date complication. I personally dislike ghost positions. Okay, let's conclude with this. The watch costs $499, has some awesome vintage design aesthetics, and is very handsome. However, the watch is not perfect, and here are some things I would improve on for the next release. Number one, and most obvious, is the strap. Second, the thickness. The watch needs to be in the 13mm range, but getting into the 12mm range would be a killer deal. And lastly, the movement. I understand that the NH movement is a workhorse, but for me personally, that's a very basic movement, and I would love to see something in the range of a Miyota 9000 series or a Sellita caliber. I understand that the price would probably have to go up, but I personally rather pay a little bit more for something a little more premium. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and let me know your thoughts on this watch. Are you picking one up? As always, be safe out there and stay humble.